Okay, Kim and I are here because I was there. This is the recap video, by the way. I was at the live session on Monday. Barely, I barely made it, and Kim was there Tuesday. Perfect. And so we don't really know how the other one went. And so Kim was like, "Hey, you want to record the recap video together, and we can fill each other in live on air?" And that's what we're gonna do. So no. For all they know, this is the third time we've made this video, Kim. But it's not. All right. So, Kim, what I am most interested to hear about is the implementation station from Tuesday because she wasn't able to make it on Monday. So we had a discussion, a really good discussion on that. But I'm interested to hear what our peep said on Tuesday. That's super cool. You had mentioned that I think in the planning of our live session, but I didn't get to hear the whole thing. That's so cool. That is so cool. Like to that is a question we get a lot. Sorry, this is the danger of us doing this live as I'm processing. I right, we get that question a lot. It's like I don't want learning to be siloed. I don't want it to be individualized. I want it to be personalized. So when you have all these kids working in a mastery based system at different paces, how the heck are you supposed to do things together? And I think my response to a lot of people has been like, well, you could go, 3 days self-paced, 2 days whole classroom, or like you'll do things in small groups. So this is something together every single day to kind of calibrate everybody. That's sick. Yeah. All right. Well, cool. You said Michelle Simmons. Awesome. Middle school. And I like too that the kids get the chance to like shout each other out. What a great way to build community and what a great way to like build empathy in your classroom. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, well, if you haven't gone and checked out the implementation station, that place is full of cool stories like this. So make sure that you go into the canvas to find that, and we can maybe in the announcement for this recap we can put a link to the implementation station in there just to drive people there a little bit. Okay, so anything else come from the um, implementation station spotlight or implementation spotlight on Tuesday? Okay. Cool. Love it. All right. So we dug a little bit into the pre-work on Monday. I'm assuming you guys did that Tuesday also. But again, the pre-work was to identify a problem of practice, and that was well, where did that idea come from? Yeah, and you had this really great protocol, which I'm blocking a little bit here, but take some time to present your protocol and then ask clarifying questions and then ask probing questions. And then, Kim, just a heads up, I'm gonna because you made this nice clarification for our group on Monday for the time you're there in the beginning, the difference between uh, clarifying and probing questions, and then discussing that together. Like I like that. I like that protocol just because it's something you can do with kids, right? Like I've got a problem. I'm trying to work on something. If you're trying to get students to collaborate on something and they are working at different paces, if the conversations aren't necessarily focused on the task but the concept and the learning, kids can still work together even though they're on different parts of the lesson. So I like that this is something that you can even modify time wise, so it didn't take up 30 minutes per person, but you could do this in 15 minutes for small concepts. But uh, I'm going backwards, and so Kim, what's the in your mind? What's the difference between a clarifying question and a probing question? Mm. So again, that's another conversation you can have with students. Like what kind of questions are you asking? Maybe don't use the term probing with middle schoolers, but uh, what types of questions are you using, uh, like as a student? Because some of those, just that's the type of like that use of language, like what type of information you're trying to get. So I had a ton of fun on Monday popping in and listening to these conversations. About how many people were there on Tuesday, Kim? Oh, awesome. Okay. Yeah. We got a little bit of that. The how do I prioritize? It's funny too. I was like on that Monday. The reason I barely made it to the like barely on time to the live session was because I was working with a teacher out in the area, and she had that same question. Like I set students off to go, and they're working, but then like they're constantly coming up with me to me with these like logistical questions, and I just think that's to me so often that's an indicator of them of students like being spoon fed things throughout their educational career, right? And so it does take time to break that habit, and it doesn't feel good necessarily as a teacher to say like, "Hey, you can go figure it out." But if we've provided them with the tools and they can do that, so I love that that question is coming up. Notice, yeah, effective small groups right here, right? Um, there, that just kind of the student motivation, I think, was the major theme of Monday. So, like, how am I managing class time? How am I getting students to do their work? Hearing that a lot, what if like the teacher down the hall isn't doing a self-paced model? Well, so and so doesn't make us do this. And blah, blah, it is just very unique, and so there's a lot of conversation around that, and some really good stuff. So yeah, I just really enjoyed popping in and listening. It's like everything else. This is in the canvas. Uh, yeah. Yeah, and so just to highlight a couple of other things here, these are all the names of the people in our cohort, and then if they were okay being contacted, they put their email addresses here. But grade level and their subject area, their curriculum, and so this really is meant to be something that we're continuing to grow. But what's something that you want to focus on, like this specifically, um, like how to grade using less paper. If you've got tips and tricks on that, or if you are, if that's something that like, how do I start moving things so it's more digital and save myself some time? Reach out to this person so that way you guys can. Or if you think that's weird, we can reach out to them for you. We do weird stuff all the time. So Where do you think I learned it? All right, so after that, I mean, that took the majority of time. That was pretty much the entire session, was that implementation spotlight, and then the like getting time to actually do the work. And so this we're recording this on Wednesday, the November 15th. That which is the you fixed it. I left the however you spelled quizzes. You had like QUIZSSS. I thought it was funny, so I left it. uh this the quizzes PD is live. I actually just went to another quizzes PD this afternoon, and I am just continually impressed with quizzes. So that is in Canvas, and there's a live workshop for that on November 20th, which is this upcoming Monday from 4 to 5. So we went through that a little bit. And then the December month at a glance is also live in Canvas, and there's some things here that we would like to highlight and really draw attention to uh, quickly, because this will come up again. There's a little bit of time, but the resource study around the shift to student led, that is, you can sign up for that. That's in PD Enroller, and bring a friend. That's not just available to people in the MCP cohort. But the really big one, Kim, is what? No kidding. Yeah, and yeah, and we will. This will not be the last time you hear about it. You're probably gonna get this. I don't know. The people in my region are probably gonna get very annoyed with me because I'm like, fill out the feedback survey. Fill out the feedback survey, because we could be making changes, but if we don't know what you actually need, or you what would be most beneficial to you, then we're not sure how to make those changes effectively and appropriately. There's a lot of psychology behind that. Like that's, I think, literally BF Skinner, the behaviorist. That's operational conditioning or something like that. Probably butchered that. It's like, here's a model of a car, and then at the end, it's here's a car that Stefan drew, and it looks more like a cucumber. Okay, so yeah, we covered the shift to student led, and then the mid-year feedback survey. Please, 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 please fill it out, and then let us know if you're going to the NCCE conference. We haven't actually really started talking about that ourselves, but uh, we are doing a session on this about on what we're talking about here every month, and so we would like to get your voices in that, and there'll be some opportunities for that coming up. So, and then as always, reach out, let us know what you need. Uh, Thanks for tuning in here with Kim and I. And we hope to see you next month. We hope to hear from you even sooner. And Kim, last thoughts, final word.